So recently, I was challenged by my friend Ivy Grizo that I couldn't 100% Castle Crashers in 24 hours. And since Castle Crashers was one of my favorite childhood games growing up, I decided to relive my childhood and accept his offer. With 12 achievements to obtain, this should be a piece of cake. I mean, I have the whole day to do it, and I'm sure the online for this game is still as active as ever. Oh shit. Now that we finished the first achievement, we're going to do, in my opinion, the hardest one. There's this game mode called Back Off Barbarian, and everyone I know that plays it hates it. We get thrown onto this board, right? Where we navigate as this little thing, where down is up and left is right. How long do we do this? 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Why the 30 seconds, you may ask? Don't ask me, I don't know. I don't want you to lose focus, so I'm going to throw this Minecraft parkour on the screen for you and skip to the end of the run where I use a little bit of a cheat to win. How do you do this, Inerpt? Great question. I pause and unpause my game repeatedly. A little cheap, I know. But it worked, and we can move on to the next achievement. Going into the second playthrough of the game, I did a little farming off camera and got my Barbarian to max level. The achievement we're working on right now is called Conscientious Objector, where we have to get from the start of the game all the way to the first boss without attacking anything. We start off by killing the ram to get through to the Barbarian boss and kill him using our Barbarian Trader. Getting Conscientious Objector, the Trader, and Melee is best done in just the start of the run, bringing us to a total of 5 out of 12 achievements. At this point, I also start working on KISS by letting my Blue Knight kill the Barbarian because I wasn't sure which character had to be the one to kiss the princesses, as if getting the achievements using Barbarian didn't spell it out for me. With 1 out of 4 princesses kissed, we can go ahead and move on to the next section. This achievement isn't a super unique one, but one I personally enjoy doing because of how many memories it brings to me. It's called Deer Trainer, but I remember being 10 years old, riding down to my friend's house on my bike, when me and the boys would boot up Castle Crashers and play this one part for hours, seeing who gets what deer, and seeing who hit the least amount of stuff. We would always try to get the one special deer, but to get this achievement we have to ride on a deer and navigate through this abandoned mill while being chased by this big angry fella that I assume wants some chow. The way I found this to be easiest to complete is to hang as far back as possible and follow where all the rest of the deers go. If they go up, I go up. If they go down, I go down. I got this done first try. It's really not a hard one, but let's just move on to the next part. Moving over to Flowery Fields, I got the king knocked off his horse so I can claim it for my own. It's not an achievement or anything, I just love stealing horses. As I came over to launch my body into a brick fortress at full speed, I failed to deal as much bodily harm to myself as I could, so I went back to the map and loaded back in to fling myself and barely put a scratch on this castle. 7 out of 12 achievements done. So, this may or may not be the point of the video where I ask for your unwavering support in taking over this platform. We're sitting at a whopping 5 subscribers, and I'd love to see that number be 10 maybe? Possibly? If you don't want to, I understand, but think about it during your next family gathering. The next achievement in our run is probably the easiest one, if I had friends of course. It's called the Medic, where we have to revive all 3 people in a full multiplayer lobby. And this would be a piece of cake if A, I went to somewhere easier to get killed like the final boss or Cyclops, and B, if I didn't have to use 3 different controllers on top of my keyboard and mouse to move all of the characters. But besides that, this achievement was extremely easy. All I had to do was stand in front of the Barbarian boss with the 3 level 1 characters and let my knight revive them all, netting us this easy accomplishment.
Here we have the Wild Knights, duking it out to obtain the sweet love of the fair maiden they've just rescued from her captor, with the mighty Blue Knight exterminating the wretched Barbarian. They will now make sweet love later in the evening.
Did that catch you off guard? I hope it did. If you haven't guessed it from the nature documentary and the serene music that was playing, we're working on KISS. If you remember earlier in the video, we went ahead and got the first princess out of the way, and we just got the second one out of the way as well, leaving the orange princess and the special princess. Yeah, I wasn't exactly thrilled to do this whole thing alone, but we got it done eventually. This task was extremely boring, and I ended up watching YouTube while I was working on it because of how easy the game was. Don't get me wrong, I absolutely love this game, and I wish it was more popular than it currently is, but after a while it starts to get stale, but it still holds a special place in my heart. And with that being said, KISS is officially completed. We can move on to the next achievement. So it's currently 3:55 a.m. My cat's laying with me. I have just about 4 hours to finish this. I'm exhausted, and I have 3 achievements left. I have, I think, Treasure Hunter, the Animal one, and the Arena one. And I'm dreading trying to find somebody to help me with that Arena one. But I'm going to try to get it done. So unfortunately, I lost almost all the footage of the last 3 achievements. How did this happen, you may ask? I was moving my setup around and I left my recording going, and when I went to unplug my PC, it corrupted the footage. I wasn't able to salvage much of it, but what I did salvage, I'll show you. We start with Treasure Hunter. Very simple and easy to get done. All I had to do was dig up 10 items with the shovel, which most players do anyways. Animal Handler was also a pretty simple one, where you have to get every animal orb in the game. The only reason this was even remotely a challenge for me was because of the animal orbs you have to buy. But a couple thousand gold later, and that was completed. And finally, the Arena Master. I wasn't able to salvage any of the footage from the recording to show you how I completed it, but basically I got one of my good friends to sit there AFK while I killed him 40 times. This took around an hour to complete. And with that being said, that's how I 100% completed Castle Crashers in a total of